Yeah, and the other concept now that I wanted us to look into is how inheritance can now be used. So remember, in this case, to use this student class, we were always creating, you have to create a student object. You have to create a student object. But in the case of inheritance, you can be able to access the properties or methods that are defined in another class without having to create an object. And what we can do, because I think this class is already just too big, we can have another class, and which is the best example to now demonstrate. I think we can go to I think I've gotten a perfect example. We can create a parent, father, and boy and girl class. Okay, so let's just create a father class, or father and mother, because I did not want to name it as parent and child. Uh, let me just create it as parent. I think okay, we can just create it as parent. Do I call it parent? I'm looking for a better word or a better name. Parent or father or mother. Uh-huh. So let me just say father, so that we can have a father class. So let's say we have a father class, we have a mother class, we have a mother class. So these are different classes that we are creating. And also we have a son class, and also a daughter class. But I think having this so many classes might bring some confusion, but we'll first experiment with two, so that you can daughter and have a daughter class. So all these are different classes that we have, and the father and the mother will be the parent classes. The father and the mother will be parents. So you can say mother. So this is the class mother or father, and the class father. So let's say our father has a name, and we say, does it have to be public? So we just say public string father name. Okay, we just say father name. And for the mother, we also do the same. We say public string mother name, father's name, mother's name. Let me open for the father and say father's name. And for the son, we can say the sons. The son, in your case, you normally provide your first name and then middle name, and then the surname is either for your father or mother. And let us see. We say public, and there is a message. Let me see what are packages. Yeah, someone has seen something called packages. That should not worry you. So these packages it's what is written up here. Think of it as a folder. So this is just specifying the folder. You don't need to do that. You it's how this project is structured. But when you'll be creating your project, you don't have to worry about this. It just places itself up there by default. So if you are like to add a new folder, new directory, where is that directory? New package or something, yeah. It's like example dot folder. So if you are to add a new folder, the package where you write another class, if I was to write another class in here, you'll see that it will say that the class is found in org.example.folder. So just think of it as how your folders are structured. I don't want to get into the complex definition of packages and how they are structured, because you don't need that at this level. But if I was to create a new class in this folder, test class, and just say test class, you'll see that up there it will be written package org.example.folder, because it's in the folder. I shouldn't have named it as folder, but it's just to show you. Just think of it as how your folders are structured, and I hope you have gotten me. I'm not seeing your screen. If you can't see my screen, just try logging in again. Log out and then log back in. If you still can't see, you can tell me. I can stop sharing and share back again. And I hope the one who was asking about the packages, they have understood. So just think of it as how your project is structured. So you can see I am in the folder called org.example, and that's why my classes are named here org.example, package org.example. And you have seen that when I have created another new folder and given it a new class inside, it has changed that to org.example and then dot the new folder. So just think of it as a folder, or how your project is structured into different directories. So this normally helps when you have so many different things or so many different classes. You can have a folder for parents, you can have a folder for children, you can have a folder for family. So it will help you in organizing your work. And if you don't specify a package, your programs will be written in what we call the default package, of which it's not encouraged. So don't you worry about the folder stuff, the package stuff. Just let me just delete this. Delete. Yeah, so just don't worry about the package. It just means that we are working with this folder right now, org.example, because it's the folder that all our classes are present in. And then we have said we gave the mother public class mother, and then we gave the mother a mother's name. And then we gave the father a public string father's name. I think we can give it a value. We can say that the father's name is equals to what can we say the father's name to be? Let's see of a family that I know. Father's name is Ruto, and then the daughter's name to be something like Charlene. So the father's name is Ruto. The mother's name is, what is the name of Ruto's wife? I don't know. Let's just see. Rachel. She's called Rachel. Let's just Raquel. So you can see that the father's name is Ruto, and then the mother's name is Rachel. So now let's go to the son and the daughter. So the son will have public string. We give the son a first name, first name, and then we say the first name is equals to, I don't know, and then we have the first name and the middle name. And for the daughter, the same thing. The daughter will have public string, first name is equals to, I don't know, and the daughter's name, public string, last name or middle name. Yeah, so let us give maybe the daughter a name. I don't know if I think she's called Charlene. I don't know if there are three names. So there's Nick Ruto and Charlene Ruto. So the daughter, the first name is Charlene. And the middle name, I don't know the middle name, Charlene Chelagat. Chelagat. And for the brother, we have Nick Ruto. So Nick Ruto, Abby Cherop Ruto, George Kimutai Ruto. So we can use George since we have all his three names. George Kimutai Ruto. So for the son, we can say the first name is George and the middle name is Kimutai. What I want to now show you is how this son can access the name of the father, okay, the father's name. And how the son can access the father's name is through something we call inheritance in Java. And let us just give an example. Let's just display the son's name. And how we can display, do we have a method so we can display this son's name? Son, I think we can create a method in the son. So we say public void display son's name. And now in this display, we just say, we print out the first name, and then we add a space, and then we display the middle name, and then we display the middle name. So now to display this son's name, we can come to the main class and create an object of the son. So we can create an object of this son so that we can be able to access this method. But we don't have to use this method. Maybe if these were private, but since they are public, you can actually use them in the main method. So what I think I can do is I can minimize, or I don't know if I can do this. I want to minimize this code. Is there a way I can collapse here? So this is our main method. So just think of this as the new main method without all these things that we are talking up here. What I want us to do is to display the son's name, and the son's name of Ruto, he's called George Kimutai. And to use this class, we just do the same thing that we've always done. We just do the same thing that we've always done. You create an object of the class you want to use. So we'll just create an object of the class that we want to use. And that class that we want to use is now the son class, the root of son class. And we just say son, and then son, then son. So you can just, it's normally, you'll tend to find that many people just give the name of the class. If it's student, you just say student, student, or if it's mother, you just say mother, mother with a small s. So son, son is equals to new son. The same thing that we were always doing. And then we can say son dot display son's name. So this will display the son's name. And I think what I can do is I can disable, because if I run this code, it will have the display of the previous whatever we were doing. So I have commented it out all, and now we will work with the son class. And if I now run this, you'll tend to see that it will display George Kimutai. So just, I hope you'll get what I'm doing. I have created a class called son. I have assigned the first name to be George and the middle name to be Kimutai. I hope we are still together up to there. I think we can actually make this private, since we are using a method to display the names. So we have the first name, George, and then the middle name, Kimutai. And when we call this method, it's displaying the first name, a space, and then the middle name. Between this space, I can add the full colon so that you can see. So if I go to my main class and run it again, you'll see George colon Kimutai. It's George colon Kimutai. So now what I want to do is to display the father's name. See, he's called George Kimutai Ruto. What I want to do now is to add this Ruto to my son class. Okay, so I want to add the Ruto name. So I will add the Ruto name. So I want to add here and say I want to add Ruto down here, system.out.println, and then I add the father's name. Where is the father? Here. So I want to use this father's name, but there is no way that I can use that father's name without coming here and saying, creating another object of father, and then I say father is equals to new father. This is how I can add Ruto as the father's name, and then I come here and say father's name. You've seen that I have added father's name because I have created an object of father, and I can now be able to maybe use his name, Ruto. But if I run this, it will actually work. But this is not what we want to do. Okay? That is not what we want. We don't want to create an object. And as you can see, it's displaying George Kimutai Ruto. But this Ruto is coming from the fact that we have created an object of the class father. This is what we don't want to do. We don't want to do this. We don't want to create an object. We want to use the concept of inheritance now. so that we don't have to say father.father's name. We can just access the father's name without creating an object. And now what I'll do is I'll delete that and just do this. Yeah, and if I now run my program, you see it's George Kemutai. We don't have the father's name yet. So now what we want to do is access the father's name, the router name from our son. And to do that now, we now introduce the concept of inheritance. Introduce inheritance in this class to inherit the father's name router. And now to do that, to introduce inheritance, we normally use the inheritance keyword. To do this, we use the inheritance keyword, which is extends. So we want our class to extend. We want the son to extend to the father. So this class will extend to the parent class. And how we do that is we say public class and then the name of the class, and then you say extends. And then you say whichever the class you want it to extend. In this case, we want it to extend the father class. That is it. So we say public class son extends father. And now what this has done, it has given us access to everything in the father's class. So we can use the father's name to be router. And to do that, we don't even have to create a new object of the father. We can just come here and say middle name and then plus father's name. So you can see that it's actually not bringing any problems, and we have not created any object of the father. So by extending father, we can now access anything that we will introduce in our father class. Anything that we will use in our father class. And to run this code, let us run the code so that you can see whether it will display now router. And as we expected, George Kimutai router. So it has gotten that father's name from this class father, and you can see that there's nothing that we have done. We have not created an object, we have not said father dot whatever. We have just used the keyword extends. We have said that the public class son, it extends the father. So whatever you normally say extends, this is normally the parent class or the superclass. It can also be called the superclass. Superclass or the subclass. So the subclass is the son. The superclass is the father. So the father is the parent and the son is the child. The same case you can do with the mother. Okay, with the mother. So you can have a daughter extend their mother. So you can have a daughter. In this case, we had Charlene, Chelagat, and then Ruto. So if we were to display the name of the daughter, we have public void display daughter's name, and then we say s out. Then the daughter, we display the name, the first name, and then the middle name. The reason why I am having some spaces here is I can't just write first name plus second name plus whatever. So let me just show you how it will come out. If I were to write like this, we have the first name plus the middle name plus now the mother's name. So let's say she wants to use the mother's name, Rachel. We can't just come here and say mother's name. We can't say that because we need access to the mother, and we have no access to the mother. And as you can see, there's a problem, and our code can't run because it's actually readed out. And where is the mother? Rachel. Now what we need to do is do exact same thing that we have done, not coming here to create mother is equals to new mother. No, we shouldn't do this. We don't want to do this. This is creating a new object. We want to use inheritance. And to use inheritance, we just say public class daughter extends mother. Just like that. And by saying class daughter extends the mother, we now have access to the mother's name, and it's no problem. So now if we wanted to call this method, remember we have to create this daughter. We have to create an object of the daughter here. But it's still, the good thing is that with programming, you can do as you wish. If you don't want to create the daughter class the daughter object in order to call this method, you can do exactly like that in this main method and say the main class also extends the daughter class. Okay, you can say that the main class, because in retrospect what we can do here if we wanted to display is do the same thing that we have done for the son. We create an object of the daughter. Daughter is equals to new daughter. So, and then say daughter dot display daughter's name. This is what we have to do to call this method that is in the daughter's class. But if we don't want to do this, we can also apply inheritance of the main class to the daughter class. So we can say that our main class extends the daughter class. Just like that. And when we say it extends the daughter class, we don't have to do this. We can comment that out. We don't have to do all this. We don't have to create objects. We can come to this daughter class and call this method right out of the box. So we can come to the main method and say display. So this, let me comment this out and say display the daughter's names using inheritance. And to call that method, we just come and call it outright from our main method. So you say display display daughter's name. So you can do this, but this is different because here we are using static. We haven't defined the use of the static keyword. And for the static keyword, it's where you want to use a particular method without creating an object. And it's refusing to call it because we are using this method in a static place. So we have to ensure that also here it is static, and that will bring a lot of problems. So if you just say static, you have to make sure everything is static. And also the mother's name has to be static so that you can access it without creating an object. And display daughter's name, or I had misspelled it, display daughter's name. As you can see, we can call the display daughter's name method without without creating an object of it, because we are using inheritance right over here. So let me see if I remove them to be static, whether it will bring a problem. And also the mother, and also the main, the daughter, the first name. So what is the problem? Because this method is also static, and yeah, it's the same problem. It's telling me that an unstatic method, blah blah blah, cannot be referenced from a static context, because our main method is static. So everything that you call, every other method that you may be referencing, it also has to be static, because for static you don't create objects, you don't create instances. You can access them without creating instances. So let me just make them static as it was telling me. Let me just undo, and I'm undoing the wrong class, and I should be undoing the daughter class and also the mother. So I've just made it static, and yes, now I can display my daughter's name using the inheritance that we have said extends daughter. So if we use inheritance, we don't have to just create our objects down here. And let me run my code so that you can see how it will display. So it will display the son's name, George Kimutai Ruto. And also for the daughter, you can see Charlene Chelagat Rachel. And this is what I was telling you. This is why I have these spaces that are separating these words. Because if we go to the display daughter's name method, you can see that I have just joined everything, all the names together. That is why in the son, I had some spaces. As you can see, these are just these spaces that are right over here. It's just to clean out the formatting. So what I can do for the daughter is introduce those spaces too, and say space colon, and also introduce a space here and say space colon, and that will display the daughter's name. And yeah, so that is it. And if I run my code now, it should be well. As you can see, the son is George Kimutai Ruto, and the daughter is Charlene Chelagat Rachel. Yeah, so that is it for inheritance. And as you can see, this class, so whatever you add in this class, or wherever you add, if you wanted to add her account balance, public int account balance, your taxpayers' money has given them 1,000,000, 100,000,000, billion. So something like that. And also for the father, you say public int bank balance is equals to 7,200 trillion million, whatever. So whatever you add, the children, the son can access what the father has. So you can say that you can say public void display account balance. Display account balance. If we were to have an account balance method, notice that we are working in the son class, and the father is the one who is holding this money, and we are working in the son class. So if we were to display the son balance, we can say system.out.println you can say my bank balance is, and then give that, say, bank balance. You see that you can access the bank balance. So the kid can flaunt out money that the father has. And you can see that this variable is present in the father. But because we are extending using inheritance, our kid can access the bank balance. And if we were to display this, we just come and say son dot display account account balance, and you'll see that the son will have that, will be able to display that the bank balance is blah 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 blah. The reason why it's printing out Charlene here still, it's because I'm sure I have used print, not print ln. Let us see. And as you can see, it's correct. I have used print because println goes to the next line we talked about, \n. And that is it. The same case if we were to do that for the daughter and the mother. The daughter will be able to also access the bank balance for the mother. Yeah, so anything that you add to the father, the child will be able to access. But it's limited still. If you did not want the I don't want my son to access Weston Hotel. If you do not want the son to access Weston Hotel, you just say private string my hotel is equals to Weston Hotel. So if you did not want the son to access this my hotel, you just make it private. And if we go to the son and try to access the hotel, so public void display my hotel, and then say out system.out my hotel is, and then try to access my hotel from the father, we shall see that you can't do that. Okay, where is father my hotel? So you can't access this my hotel because it's private, my hotel. And it will tell you exactly that my hotel has private access. Okay, so for when it comes to private things, so you can see how keeping things private can make it, can solve the issue if you don't want to expose some things to your children. Just keep them private. So this is what I was telling you, that the object-oriented programming way, it simulates the real life approach in programming. If I wanted my son to access the Weston Hotel, I just make it public. And now my son can access my hotel. And you can say son.display display hotel, and it will display the son's hotel as Weston Hotel. And if I run the code, you'll see that George Kimutai Ruto, then you say my bank balance is that, and then my hotel is Weston Hotel, and this is for the daughter. So whatever you've done for the son, you can also do it for the son and the mother, for the daughter and the mother, I mean. Yeah, so you can add things to the mother, and whatever you add to the mother, the daughter can also access. Yeah, so that is it for things to do with inheritance. I hope that you've at least gotten something from that example. and I will make this code. I will actually make this code. What I'll upload it on GitHub so I can share the project on GitHub. And I say object-oriented programming, then inheritance. No, let me just call it object-oriented programming. Yeah, I'll just share it to GitHub so that you can access all the code. I'll share it on GitHub and you'll get programming. You'll get it. So if anyone who has a question, yeah. So yeah, my class is complete. Maybe if anyone has a question on what we have looked into, I'll share the recording and I'll also share the code on GitHub. Okay, so let me just end the call since you have another class on GitHub. No, on 11, at 11. So yeah, that is it for inheritance today. You'll find this recording and the code will be provided for a link in GitHub. There will be a GitHub link for the code. Yeah, so thank you for joining and you can proceed to the next class.